Have you ever wondered just what sort of technology the many notoriously secretive governments of our world possess? Perhaps scuttled away for a rainy day, what could have been spat out by black-funded skunkworks over the last century? Technologies and capabilities far beyond the realm of the many civilian sectors which conveniently absorb nearly all of the attention. It would seem that whilst we toil away down here, racing each other to get to space, either for commercial, military, dominance, or indeed more Martian objectives, the space agency thought they would subtly give us the ultimate flex. Quietly uploaded to social media, yet ever since, as you would expect, has been igniting discussions and imaginations alike. For what could they be doing up there? Where were they going? How long have these missions been in operation? An image taken far from Earth's atmosphere, taken aboard a secret space shuttle on a secret space mission. Not only the first ever image of this kind shared by the space agency, but it undoubtedly speaks 1,000 words. Many will be aware of the astonishing spy plane known as the U-2, along with its incredible edge of space capabilities, yet far fewer are aware of the record-breaking craft known as X-37B, one of the world's newest, most secretive and advanced space vehicles. According to the publicly available specs, it is designed to go into low Earth orbit and stay at a height of no more than 500 miles. However, its true capabilities are obviously unknown, and with the image clearly taken from a height far greater than that of 500 miles, one has to wonder, is this merely soft disclosure, revealing to the world that although we may be battling to launch to space, the moon, and perhaps even farther afield, they are already there, and quite possibly have been for a while. For if they are choosing to disclose this, one has to also wonder, what do they possess which still remains top secret? It is also claimed as an unmanned craft, yet just what sort of vehicles these government agencies have access to is unknown. Infamous UK hacker Gary McKinnon, who hacked such an agency, has publicly claimed to have seen pilot and other employee logs, clearly listing a, quote, non-terrestrial fleet within the US military, along with many other documents, including images of off-world craft, some in the form of the commonly cited cigar shape. Could we already have off-world bases that are slowly being revealed to the world via our long-existing, yet classified, capabilities to do so? Could our mission to space not lay in our ability to get there, but our attitude towards it once we do? Are we merely being contained here upon our planet by the powers that be until we develop to a level admittable to journey into this big black void, or to our own destruction? Perhaps the challenge is not to get to the moon, but to overcome our differences before we get there. We find such musings along with the Space Department's evocative image highly compelling.
I really couldn't imagine, because I have been the team's biggest skeptic. I was kind of prepared of finding just a stone. For me, it has been an amazing experience, I must say.
The team were completely dwarfed by the mysterious object, which is about 60 meters in diameter and lying almost 80 meters down on the bottom of the Baltic Sea. There are visible formations on top of the object which are set at a 90-degree angle and look like passageways or walls, as well as something that looks like it could be a staircase.
The Baltic Sea anomaly is an anomaly in the truest sense of the word. It is a 70-meter-long object, with numerous sharp edges and right angles prevalent throughout its structure, with a set of stairs on one side as if once deployed from its shape and left to ruin. Sonar has also found drag marks behind the object, as if it once crashed to Earth, Samples have also confirmed it is metallic in nature. Geologist Steve Wire said that according to his tests, the object is not a geological formation, suggesting that the structure was in fact made from particular metals. Nature could not reproduce itself. Electrical equipment also has mysterious issues when near to the anomaly. Professional diver Stefan Hogerborn, part of the Ocean X team, has said that anything electrical, even satellite phones, stop working when above the object, only subsiding some 200 meters from the top of the anomaly. Another team member, Lindbergh, isn't convinced that the object is actually an ET spacecraft. In response to one question about what the object might be, Lindbergh responded, "I think it is very odd in its shape. It is tough to give an explanation as to what it might be exactly, since different scientists have many different theories. Whatever it is something we do not usually find in nature, sitting in the dark, cold depths of the Baltic Sea." Now thought to be over 140,000 years old, Ocean X is still investigating the object in an effort to attain its true origins. We will keep you updated on any further finds. Where is the lost city of Atlantis? Will it ever be found? Did it ever exist? Found by an amateur researcher several miles off the coast of the Canary Islands and some 600 miles from the coast of Morocco, an enormous prehistoric city, one the same size as that of modern-day Wales, has seemingly been discovered. And just like that of the pyramidal structures found off the coast of Cuba, or the ones near the Azores, the Bimini Road, or the many other ruins found at depths, which, if the history books correct, simply should not exist, is possibly encountering a cover-up of its own. Found at an incredible depth of 3.5 miles, this clearly massive and also obviously artificial earthwork has simply been dismissed as nothing more than a technical glitch. It would seem that to even posit its existence, to even entertain the possibility of an ancient ruin existing at such a depth, one which would unquestionably put its creation date far out of the realms of the supposed already established chronology of man's history, is simply unacceptable. No further research is apparently needed of the possible site, yet could this conclusion merely be yet another cover-up of our past? The deliberate ignorance towards yet another contradictory ruin, all of which hinting at an alternative origin story for man. An effort by the powers that be to deter anyone from devoting any further attention to such an incredible anomaly, not only via a lack of any funding, but via a deliberate lack of publicity or attention directed towards such a find. It is a pattern and a strategy of suppression, which, as you have probably noticed by now, we here at Mystery History are all too familiar with. Although there is a number of credible pieces of evidence to indeed suggest that there was once an enormous, yet now lost continent, which once sat somewhere here upon the face of our planet. One that, if the legends be true, suddenly sunk beneath the waves. No definitive location for this lost city has ever been determined. And I feel after many years of searching that I may now know why. For if the Atlantean civilization was indeed as advanced as the stories tell, do you not feel it unlikely that it would have been contained to a single continent? It would have been far more likely that if such a civilization as that of, or akin to, the Atlanteans once existed, it would have been a globe-faring race, would it not? One that would presumably have built and shared its technological prowess with every continent, not only to trade, but possibly to eventually dominate. One that quite possibly did indeed encounter a sudden submersion, yet differing from the tale, this submersion beneath the waves not caused by the sudden and inexplicable sinking of a whole continent, ruins and all, but is in reality the mudded recollection of not sinking, but a great flood, a deluge, one recorded in ancient texts and within our ancient stories, handed down for generations. If this instead be the case, one would expect to see the exact same evidence as that of what our own research has gathered. Unarguable ancient connections, which without such a civilization's past existence being accepted academically, continues to baffle all those who are funded to provide the answers we search for. You have to wonder if the antediluvian civilization, the existence of which our research unravels, is perhaps not just our lost history, but the legacy of the Atlanteans. It is a hypothesis which we find highly compelling. In February 2010, Project Avalon was hosting a video interview with Klaus Dona, a specialist in evidence of past civilizations. During the presentation, a group of very intriguing artifacts were introduced to the world. Found in Ecuador, a set of 12 cups made from solid jade. all of differing sizes, yet when the bigger jugs, contents is poured between the smaller cups, fills them perfectly. The jug is also mysteriously magnetic, but only on the inside. This should be a physical impossibility, yet this unique property, along with numerous other strange features they contain, has led many to the speculation of them once being used by alien visitors. Pyramids can be found on all continents of Earth, and all have been shown to have alignments with star constellations. When the jade cups are examined under ultraviolet light, they too reveal different star constellations on each cup. They are also numbered in a language that is known as Sanskrit, an ancient language claimed to predate the Aztecs. Along with the cups, a very strange-looking serving plate, with very strange formations of an unknown function on the top, and maybe the most intriguing of all, what appears to be an illuminated pyramid with 13 steps on top, an all-seeing eye. On the base of the pyramid is also the constellation of Orion, along with an inscription in Sanskrit, the translation of which reads, "The Son of the Creator comes." Was the liquid which once filled these cups somehow magnetic? Could these ancient structures be connected through an unknown force? Are there similar structures somewhere else in the universe? It is not a large leap of the imagination to speculate that these jade cups were connected to some form of alien activity. 12 cups, each showing a different star system in black light, all of which show evidential traces of a mysterious magnetic past contents. Were they used at a meeting location for 12 tribes of aliens? With so much knowledge lost due to unknown events in our distant past, it may take many years before we truly understand what our ancestors were aware of, and what strange liquid these cups once contained. Stones found nearby to their discovery also illustrate the pyramid being placed upon a larger pyramid, with a man holding the pyramid exactly as that of the artifact. Rays of light can be seen from his eyes. You can also see two figures on his right. On his head, he has something like a small helmet with an antenna linked to a strange object above him. What these artifacts were used for remains a complete mystery. In Phoenix Hill, Longyu County, China, 24 artificial chambers can be found. Now considered by many as the ninth wonder of the world, the sheer size of these chambers has quietly baffled and astonished all who have investigated them for decades. With a minimum floor space of some 1,000 feet, the sheer mammoth undertaking these would have been simply unimaginable. Dated to before the dynasties of China, with some saying they are 3,000 years old, although their true age could indeed be far, far older. The caves are seemingly drenched with decorative tool marks, with every single scar set at a mysterious 60-degree angle. However, during our extensive research of antiquities, lost history, and indeed the seemingly impossible feats of a now lost, yet once global civilization, we have encountered these chisel, or more probably, advanced machine marks throughout these sites worldwide, thus supporting the latter posit of them indeed being once left by advanced as yet unknown tools. To consider these marks as decorative chisel marks, one also has to explain just how they achieved such laborious results throughout, along with the absence of any quarried stone. For although the caves are the result of excavating several metric million tons of bedrock, it is nowhere to be found, anywhere. This waste material has never been identified as reused or deposited anywhere else on the planet. It is as if it has simply vanished, or was seemingly vaporized from reality. Whatever became of this vast amount of stone is to us a complete mystery. As if this entire place was once cut with advanced alien machinery, with the stone removed, somehow erased from history forever. Along with the many other finds we have made upon our channel, the Longyu Caves, along with the fact that they predate recorded history even within China, are yet another strong piece of supporting evidence to suggest an advanced, possible ancient alien civilization has been and gone here upon our planet, one far before us, one far more capable than even that of our own modern civilization. No tools, remains of builders, artifacts, or indeed waste piles have ever been discovered at or anywhere near the cave system, as if its builders accomplished the feat quickly and with ease. The fact that nothing has ever been found even hinting at how, or indeed who accomplished this miraculous ruin, makes the Longyu cave system all the more puzzling. For how did an ancient civilization achieve such a feat? What's more, How did they manage to accomplish it without leaving a single trace in regard to the efforts involved in such an enormous task? Finally, a factor little shared about these caves is the fact that when they were first rediscovered within the modern world, they were found to be completely submerged, possibly still flooded with ancient water. Could this have been supporting evidence, like the many others reported, yet subsequently quietly removed over the preceding years, often before the reports be substantiated of a once great flood, reported throughout ancient cultures and religious texts alike, yet all the evidence mysteriously erased from history? The salinity of the waters never confirmed, yet along with the many other remarkable factors surrounding the Longyu caves, we found it to be highly compelling.
Although many within the funded sectors of academia would prefer to attribute the many unexplained ruins found throughout our world to the most fitting group who were merely inhabiting the site upon their rediscovery. Fortunately, when one knows what to look for, they can still find these sites literally dripping with evidence. Signatures not only left by their true creators, but also the tools in which they used to liberate these massive stones from the earth. Longyu Cave within China, undoubtedly a jewel in the crown of this now lost and little understood civilization, and, thanks to its location, having been sheltered from the elements, the clearest, most pristine signatures can be found here. One can then start to link other abandoned and extremely ancient sites, slowly unraveling the legacy of this now lost people. The tool marks within Longyu, for example, also present within Petra, Aswan Quarry, Japanese quarries, and many more, with Aswan being a place that also possesses scoop marks and small sections of polygonal masonry, suggesting that more than one civilization once responsible for the entirety of Giza, Baalbek, and many of the other larger megalithic sites, many now claimed as Roman. Yet these tool marks, thanks to our far-reaching and photographic research, can then be used to link and prove the past existence of an ocean-going superpower, who, like that of the polygonal builders whom utilize metal clamps, will aid in not only identifying the reach of this past empire, but also help differentiate them from the other now lost civilizations, which we are starting to separate and recognize. This past utilization and identification of lost techniques and technologies, the pathway to these discoveries. Additionally, an interesting caveat to these makers of Longyu is the absence of any waste material, often millions of tons of rock, as if it simply vanished on an atomic level. Yet I digress. The predictable dismissal that will inevitably be put forward is to classify these as merely high-end chisel works. However, this signature of the diagonal strips, along with not being the most effective way to quarry the stone, was clearly an intentional technique, possibly left as a maker's mark. This now, fortunately, aiding us in exposing the inconsistencies being peddled by mainstream archaeology. Who built and cut these pieces? How powerful and capable were they? We find the pursuit for these answers highly compelling.